Waypoint crew, Coach Barb here, standing in my kitchen for a video segment that we're calling Kitchen Corner. So what I want to talk to you guys about today are healthy eating choices that you can make during this quarantine period. I know it's really hard. I think a lot of people are finding themselves mindlessly eating, making not necessarily the healthiest eating and drinking choices. I know everyone's a little bit stressed out, and that turns into some not great choices that people can make. So we really want to help you guys set up for success during this time. So wanted to talk about some eating choices that you can make and decisions that you can make to help keep you on track with your health and fitness choices until we can be together in person again. So the first place that your good choices can start is the grocery store. So if there are things that you know are trigger points for you, whether it's your trigger foods, mine is dips. I love dip, like a good queso or things like that, so I don't buy it. I, on the other hand, I'm not a big sweets person, so I can buy cookies and cakes and ice cream, and that can sit in my house and I don't touch it because it's not something that I love, so I can avoid eating those sorts of things. So that's really the easiest way to go about this, is if you're there at the store, don't buy the crap that you know that is super high calorie or high fat or just garbage. Just don't buy it. Inevitably though, you probably have stuff in your home that is not great. I know I do. Like anytime my husband goes shopping, or let's face it, any of us with kids, we probably have some not great choices in our homes anyways. So the next thing I want to talk about is mindful eating practices. So there are a few components that go along with this mindful eating. Eat when you are hungry, not when you are bored. I know that seems intuitive, that you're like, oh, well, of course I eat when I'm hungry. But when you think about it, if you're walking through your kitchen, you're like, oh, I'll grab a snack. Are you really hungry, or are you just bored? So to kind of determine whether or not you're hungry or bored, something that I like to do is I'll drink some water. I'm like a seltzer addict fan, so if this ever comes out that this is bad for you, I'm in big trouble. So seltzer water, drink some water, do something active, just do anything around your house, play with your kids, whatever. And then if you're 15 minutes later, you're like, no, I'm still hungry, then okay, yeah, legitimately your body says, feed me. So that's one thing that you can do. Don't eat out of the bag. Practice portion control. That's another good way to mindfully eat. When you're sitting there eating your bag of popcorn and just, or popcorn's not bad for you, but chips or everything's bad for you in large doses. If you're sitting there eating, be aware of how much you're actually eating. So take that bag, pour whatever you're eating into a bowl. Be aware of what a serving size is. You'd be shocked, most people would be shocked if you ever actually look on the bag what your label is, that your serving size is 2 Oreos and that's 180 calories or whatever. I just made that up. I don't know what it actually is, but be aware of your serving sizes. So if you're choosing to eat those things, or really even the healthy things, be aware of what a portion is of that food. So those are really good things. Another thing to be mindful of with your eating practices are your trigger times, not just your trigger foods. A lot of us, it's evenings, when you're sitting there and you're having, you're watching TV and the day is kind of wrapping down. A lot of people, that's when they'll go to their pantry and grab their bag of chips. For me, it's 3:30. I'm always really hungry at 3:30. So be aware of your trigger times, not just your trigger foods, and set yourself up for success in those moments. So if you're an evening snacker and you really want to snack on something, and are accustomed to snacking something at 8 o'clock, grab something slightly healthier. Like I'll have an apple usually around 8 because it's filling, there's lots of fiber, and it gives me that little bit of sweetness that I kind of crave in the evenings. So a lot of times around 8 I'll have an apple. That's my evening snack. Or I try to be aware of my trigger eating time, which is again this 3:30, to have something that is healthy during that time frame. So not just grazing through the pantry and just grabbing whatever the easiest thing is. So the other thing to be aware of with your mindful eating is in those moments when you're reaching for that bag of chips or you're reaching for that container of cookies or bar of chocolate, pause. And really think about, after you've looked at the label or really considered if you know like this is a very high calorie or high fat or high whatever food, do I really want this? Will this food give me what I want in this moment? Will I feel better after I eat it, or will I not? And a lot of times you can really trigger, you can make that choice right then and there and say, no, I don't want this food. And you can make a different choice. Granted, if you are all in and you're like, yeah, I want it, bring it, then fine. Be comfortable with your choice. Again, be aware of your portion control. I encourage you that regardless of what you're eating, keep in mind portion size. So those are just a few examples of ways that you can practice mindful eating at home. Another thing a lot of people are doing right now is kind of the intermittent fasting, so only eating within certain time frames of the day. If that works for you, that's a good option. If you find yourself that, again, if there are those trigger times, like if your trigger time is you really like your junk at 8, maybe stop eating at 7:30 and not letting yourself, having control of your own choices and not letting yourself give into those temptations and eating food later than you would like your food window to be. Or eat a decent sized lunch and then really commit yourself like, okay, I'm done eating until dinner. So really cutting out that snack time. So me, I like to eat little bits throughout the day. I don't eat large portions at any point. And so for me, that system doesn't work, but it might work for you. So it kind of depends on how you like to fuel your body. I'm not here to tell you how, a specific diet to follow some sort of eating pattern. I'm not a professional. These are just helpful tips. So obviously do what is best for you and the life that you're leading and the choices that you want to make to help yourself be healthy. So those are mindful eating practices. And then when you do need to snack, set yourself up for success. Give yourself healthy eating options. Like I said, I talked a lot about seltzer. I've talked about seltzer, water, any sort of like flavored water, whatever it is. Super good for you. Be drinking a lot of water throughout the day. That in fact will probably quell some of your hunger choices when you think your body is hungry, but you're actually just thirsty for hydration. Another thing, protein. Proteins are really good ways to quickly and easily get full. So I like hard-boiled eggs are really good. Cottage cheese, lean deli meats. Or, heck, we have time, like make a big ham or make a big turkey and use that as snacking options throughout the day. So if you do want to kind of create like a nice little snack plate, you have good healthy options at the ready. If chips are your trigger, I think popcorn is a really good choice because it kind of fills that salty vibe that people like with chips, but slightly healthier. Or I actually make the fresh popcorn a lot, just like the kernels that you can pop in the microwave. Those are a great resource, super low calories, super fiber. So like it's just good and the kids love it. Carrots, other cut veggies, carrots, cucumbers, celery, pre-slice those, just have them at the ready. I like to actually and I just finished my last one, but keep the washed containers of those cherry baby tomatoes. I keep them on my counter clean and I'll snack on those throughout the day because to me they're sweet and they're yummy. So it's an easy source of food if I do feel like I need a snack in that minute to help me stay on track with the eating choices that I'm making. If you're a sweets person, I encourage you to bake your sweets at home. There's lots of ways that you can make healthier choices with your baking than you would by buying prepackaged baked goods from the store. So make your own cookies, fine. Obviously, again, be aware of portion control, but make good choices. Use whole wheat flours. Use applesauce instead of oil or butter. Use sugar substitute, depending on your particular persuasion about those, or you can use natural sugars. Use honey. Use pure maple syrup. There's a lot of ways that you can make foods healthier by baking them at home if you do have that sweet tooth. So I encourage you to stock up on basic pantry things. There's a lot of other ways you can go like really full tilt with baking with flaxseed and chia seeds and all these other seeds. If that's your jam, that's great. Those are great options. I encourage you to research ways to make healthier substitutions in your baked goods. If, again, things like that are trigger points for you and you do still want to get that kind of like little bit of sugar fix. I'm a big fan of moderation. So again, that's why I keep harkening back to portions. If you want a cookie, have a cookie. Embrace it. You didn't fail. It's not going to make you 10 pounds heavier. Enjoy it. Enjoy that one cookie and say, that was a really good cookie, and I'm good. So it's all about mindfulness and self-control, and that takes time to develop. Give yourself grace and all of that, but do set yourself up for success by shopping smart and having foods at the ready that are good and healthy for you. So keep at it, Waypoint. We can get through this together. Feel free to message any of your coaches if you are looking for more healthy eating suggestions. For those of you who are doing Coach D's Nutrition Challenge, that's awesome. I'm proud of you guys. So keep at it, and don't be a meme. Don't be the person coming out of this 10 pounds heavier just because we got lazy. I believe in you guys, and I think that we can come out of this stronger and better than we ever were before. This is a great time to establish those good, healthy eating habits. So just be mindful of how you're choosing to eat, and we can get through this. And great job. Stay Waypoint strong.